Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Semi-Perfect Podcast, Episode 6. I'm AC Racebest and joined, as always, with...
Saber Spark. How's it going, folks?
Wow, they're really quiet today. It's like, that's the fun part about, like, not having a live audience, is you're just like, how's everyone doing tonight?
They're ecstatic.
Okay, so...
Wonderful.
Here we are, another week gone by. October, as far as the weather over here, it's just starting to like kick into actual October weather, which is funny because it had like 3 days to go. It's going to be a warm Halloween over here.
You know, it's supposed to be a cold winter overall, from what I recall. My brother-in-law said that's what the Farmer's Almanac says, but who knows, them and their witchcraft. It got really cold yesterday here in Georgia after some rain came through. But, I mean, the weather's been crazy. Have you all gotten a lot of rain? Because, like, didn't a hurricane pass your way?
Us?
Yeah, I mean, I know it was going north. It went through to Mexico.
We had a pretty hefty storm hit us a few weeks ago that caused a lot of flooding. A couple of cars got buried. I know there were a couple fatalities. So, yeah, no, like, we just can't. We need the rain, but we can't handle it.
It's so interesting because... I saw some pictures of the car stuck in the mud because they sank and then the mud dried out and it looked like a scene from Mad Max.
No, like seriously, it was. And what's weird is, as I hit my table, it's that one of the locations that happened is area that we drive over to get to Bakersfield just about every other weekend. So it was pretty close to where that happened. Luckily, that wasn't a weekend where we were heading in that direction, but yeah, just crazy weather. And it's, it's rain that we need, but it's also like warm rain, so we're not really getting any of the snowpack. But I know they're expecting a huge El Nino. I've heard that it's also supposed to be a really like kind of strange El Nino this year, where usually it's
What's
a warm...
an El Nino?
That's like our weather system. Like when we have an El Nino, it's big time rain time. It's generally like monsoon warm rain, but we're also having a massive cold front that's supposed to hit at the same time. So there's supposed to be like a lot of snow. So that would be good. We could use it.
Interesting. Here's a fun fact. That hurricane that went through, the largest one ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere, I believe.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Did not kill a single person.
You know, it's funny. I kind of had a moment where listening to the radio, I was listening to one of the standard music stations out here.
Yeah.
I think it was like Star 98.7 for anyone in Southern California. And I was laughing because they have like a news segment where they go over like the big stories. And all they said was like, I forget the name. So, Hurricane Paleo was the largest... Patricia, that was close, was the largest ever recorded hurricane. And then they like went into like some celebrity news, like directly following it, like Snooki and
Snooki
Stern are doing their...
Does she even exist anymore?
I don't know. I literally came up with the first like weird celebrity name. But it was like some like update on marriage something. Oh, this person's getting another divorce. Amazing. And it's like
wonderful.
That followed what sounded like one of the coolest scientific pieces of news, and you had to follow it up with that.
My friend, it's all about what sells, and hurricanes with low death counts do not sell.
Yeah,
you think I'm not being facetious. I'm being honest. This is the honest to God truth. That's why you have things. Oh my God, I tell myself go ahead.
Yeah. No. I want to see where you're going.
I don't want to get too political with our little pony show, but for, what is it, Glamour magazine, I think Bruce or Caitlyn Jenner is going to be Woman of the Year. And I'm a little bit perplexed because it doesn't have to do anything over the state of whether, is it Bruce or is it whatever, Caitlyn? I don't care about that. I don't care. Whatever makes you happy. But there have to be a lot of other women out there who are much more deserving of that title. And then I realized it's Glamour magazine, who gives an actual shit. And that this magazine is doing this because it sells copies. It's controversial. And controversy sells.
It's so interesting because one of the biggest things you ever hear as far as blank sells is sex sells.
Yes, it is.
And it's obviously why this show has done so well.
I'll put the webcam on. I will put the
I
webcam
wasn't
on.
talking about our show. I was going to make a joke about ponies. Anyways, God, I'm surprised we have a viewership.
I'm not. They love us. Well, they love. They
All
love
of a
me.
sudden they're like, oh, no. So, yeah, no. As far as any interesting stories from the week for you, any personal things that?
Let's see. Anything?
Oh God, here she comes. Everyone, just act now. Oh, you did turn it. Hi. Where'd you park? You got a spot? I knew you would.
There it is. Sarah.
Sarah. Hey, Sarah, everyone wants to know
Yeah.
if you still love me after I made you park in the woods.
Where's the what?
In the outside. I almost made you park on the street tonight.
Oh.
You didn't know that till now, huh?
I would still love him.
Really?
Really?
Oh, wow. So that poll, there was 17% that said still love. So, wow. Lucked out with that one.
Yeah.
Sarah, the Sarah chant's going on in the chat right now. A big thank you, by the way, to everybody who's joining us here tonight. We're looking to have a really interesting show. Saber and I kind of went over the topics and some of the things we would be discussing tonight. And I'm kind of excited to see where things...
What was that?
What was that?
It was a cough!
It sounded like you stepped on a squeaky toy.
Well, that's what my coughs sound like.
That's what your what? Oh, cough. I thought you were talking about your rooster.
Sarah, what was your opinion on the season finale or whatever episode it was for Wonder Over Yonder?
Sarah, come here. Sarah, the questions are amassing right now. Saber's asking your thoughts on, he said, the season finale or whatever of Wander Over Yonder.
It's not the season finale, it's the mid-season,
The
you know,
mid-season finale.
mid-season premiere. What is he wanting to know?
What did you think?
I liked it. There's been some criticism, and I agree with it, but I feel like...
People are criticizing Wander Over Yonder.
Yes.
It's too
Why?
It's too
because
sexual.
They are allowed to.
Are they saying it's too sexual?
No.
Oh.
They're kind of upset that Dominator, being the only other female character, has turned into shipping fodder. But I feel like the writers are doing it on purpose,
So-
and they
so
are
then-
using that cliche trope to challenge it in a way.
Right. Now, I was looking up some artwork of Lord Dominator,
Yes.
and she is a very good-looking villain.
She's got a waist that can end nations.
Yeah, no, that like you said, she could take over the universe with that waist. So, yeah. So, Sarah, you enjoyed it?
Yes.
What about so another very big episode happened this week with a different show, Gravity Falls.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm like
Oh, you haven't seen it?
12 episodes behind. No
Oh
joke.
my God. I just finally got my hands cleanly on the first season of Gravity Falls. It's been driving me crazy because I haven't seen it. I've probably
It's a
seen
good
like
show.
maybe 2 episodes of the first season. I've been watching the second season with Sarah here, and I'm like, I need to catch up. So, yeah. No, I finally am going to be able to see what's going on because I feel like what I love about shows like that is where they reference a lot of stuff that's happened in the past, but it drives me nuts. Not like I have to turn to Sarah and go, is this a reference from something in the past? So, Sarah, by the way, real quick, dear, if you could come back here. Somebody's asking in the chat, what's your political position on vegetables?
Vegetables.
Yeah.
All I have to say is we have no bananas today.
No banana.
Typical
No, we have no
political
bananas.
answer.
Wow. That was political.
You're the
That was-
Donald Trump of the produce world.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Saber.
So I was just typing on Twitter here. Well, as far as our agenda for this episode, I know we'll be talking about the recent episode of MLP. One thing I wanted to address, and we talked about this briefly on the phone today, is okay. So, in a nutshell, our discussion for this episode is going to be are fandoms bad? And I am going to do a video about this. Hopefully, it'll be out by next week or the week after. Depends. I have a very busy week ahead, but keep my fingers crossed. But that's the question: are fandoms bad? So, if you all have any questions or anything related to that, please go ask your questions here. Go to my Twitter, ask a question. You can do the hashtag SPP or semi-perfect podcast or whatever, semi-perfect.
Oh, are we telling people to submit their questions already?
Yeah, you can do that if you want to ask your questions.
Submit it to mine instead. It's better reception.
Unfollow him, everyone. Unfollow him. No,
don't do it.
No,
Don't do it. Whenever you suggest something, people do it, and then it's like, oh, that's funny. Here's my Twitter. Oh, I don't have it. God dang it.
You don't deserve it.
I don't deserve it. AC Race Best on Twitter. So yeah, we're gonna discuss that. We're also gonna talk a little bit. There's been a lot of questions I've been getting, and kind of a funny story to come with it about Bronies React and what's going on right now. So, gonna give some really juicy details, answer some questions, maybe even reveal what the next one's gonna be. So everyone right now is like, it's a Equestria Girls, right? But yeah, no, it should be exciting. It should be a good show.
Well, do we want to get going on the episode?
Before we do, I have some stories that have happened this week.
All right.
All right. So first, I wanna hit upon this. I mentioned this last week, and you all were the first ones to find out that it was potentially going to happen. Is that I had mentioned that I was putting together an RV for an RV demolition derby, and it was going to be Big Mac.
Okay.
Well, I am happy to announce that it worked, and Big Mac did make it to the racetrack and did make it to the demolition derby. It was a very stressful couple of moments because we had 3 RVs show up, including mine, and one of them broke. It's some motor issue. And so there was only one guy who got his RV running, and I was coming off the track, and I had never gotten my RV to drive probably more than 30 seconds. And I was like, great. Now I am responsible for whether or not we even have an RV demolition derby. So it was crazy, but got Big Mac out on the track, and man, Big Mac looks different after this RV.
Do you have pictures, derby. Or I mean, you all got on camera, right?
We have some pictures. Let me see if I can link you those pictures actually, because I know I have the page up with them. But yeah, no, it was really funny. As usual, the low budgets, we're gonna have a really big segment for that one. So it should be good. It should be good. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, the whole night was a lot of fun. I got into a really big rivalry with someone too, by the way.
Tell me more.
So this guy and I were racing, and he came up on me out of the turn, and we were in a skid plate race. So the back end's kicked out sideways and all that. And this guy kept coming up on me, and I'm like, dude, we're racing in the top 5 right now. I'm not going to just move over or hit the brakes for you. Well, not moving over or hitting the brakes resulted in us hitting, and he popped my tire. So I was like, oh, jerk. So what I did was after I popped my tire, the next lap he came by, and I got in his way. Just like the biggest block I've ever thrown on somebody. I pretty much stopped my car in front of him. And yeah, he had to stop, and you could tell he got pissed off. And then, so I go to turn, and again, my tire's flat, so I spun out really easily, really slowly. And I just see, out of nowhere, full speed, a yellow bumper come driving straight into my driver's door.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was nasty. And he hit me so hard that I ended up he hit me so hard that his airbags went off.
Damn.
He hit me so hard that he put me into the wall, and I didn't even realize I hit the wall until after I saw the damage later. I'm like, how did that happen? And yeah, it was crazy. So, see if that gets resolved or if it needs to get any worse. But yeah, no, just something again on the low budgets to look forward to. Still a lot of those videos coming on out. And I mentioned I had a story about them, but I'll bring that up once we get into like the Bronies React discussion later on. Yeah, but no, so long story short, good news. Big Mac made it on the track, and Saber here, you could probably check out what?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Did the stream crash?
I don't know. Huh. It's not crashing on my end.
Mine either. Sarah said that because someone had
Well, more than one person.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Uh,
It was the same person with two accounts.
huh. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Cool,
Boom!
cool.
All right, 2 accounts. They're determined. All right, so let me find these pictures of yours. Yeah.
Oh, so no. So I guess it cut out when I said out of nowhere. Sarah. Oh, never mind.
Out of nowhere. RKO. Out of nowhere.
And out of nowhere, well, basically to finish off the story for anyone that didn't hear it, out of nowhere, I saw a yellow bumper come driving into me at full speed. So it was a nasty move. It'll be in full detail as far as the low budgets go. That'll be coming up in the October Night of Destruction that we just got done with. But overall, it was a good night for us. Tommy, there's Big Mac, by the way. You got the picture up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I wanted to put the biggest zeros I've ever put on an RV.
They're huge.
So, yeah, no, so that's Big Mac. Good stuff.
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Want to get going on the episode review? Or I guess
Yeah, man.
discussion?
No,
All right.
this suck.
All right, let's do it then. So, we had an episode that was extremely freaking bizarre because it was, and by the way, spoilers, ahoy! It was a heartwarming Eve episode before Halloween. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. No, I found that. I found it interesting timing wise because, you know, like we had heard about a Halloween episode that's going to be coming out. So I was surprised that we had a Christmas episode
I think they were
essentially
messing with us.
come out before. They should have had that be the Halloween episode.
Oh my god, that would have just messed with so many folks.
They're like, no, you guys don't get it. The ponies are all kind of backwards with their stuff.
Jack
it
Skellington shows
was
up.
an interesting episode because it was kind of a combination. It felt like of Christmas and Easter and various other holidays.
Leif Erikson Day, all that stuff. Well, okay, so
Harbor Day, yeah.
I
mean,
just watched the episode. Harbor?
I meant Arbor. Shut up. I was like, I got one by him. Success.
Well, boys, we're in port now. And things are looking fine. Harbor
Take it
Day.
to Steve, Mr. Murdoch.
It's Lester Day. What? Easter. What? Easter. Oh. Lester Day. All right, so it was what was the name of the episode? Like a heartwarming story or
I think it was just called Hearthwarming.
heartwarming. There you go. Whatever. So it's about Applejack going to take her family to Pinkie Pie's house or at the rock farm.
It's about a Christian family going to spend Christmas with a Jewish family.
In a way. So, in a previous episode from a previous season, they revealed that Pinkie Pie and Apple Bloom, or an Applejack, well, I guess technically Apple Bloom, are cousins, they think. They think they're cousins. So, funny thing is, I've yet to see that episode.
What?
I've yet to watch that episode.
You didn't watch? Wait, which one?
The one where, like, Gabe and I reacted to it with Apple Bloom doing the A to the P to the PB, whatever Bloom one.
Oh, you mean the one from a long time ago?
Yeah, I've yet to watch it.
Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah.
watched the last episode.
That's what I meant. I thought after going on about how you just watched it, you're like, I didn't actually.
No, I did. It was it was interesting. I mean, it was one of those solid episodes where it's like, yeah, this isn't fantastic, but this isn't awful. It's just a good episode.
What I liked about it was it introduced more. One thing we talk about a lot is wanting to see more of the families.
Yeah.
And we definitely were introduced to more, or I guess all at this point, of Pinkie Pie's family. And then like Applejack has like 45,000 like cousins or whatever. So yeah, no, I agree. I found this episode to be a solid one. I felt like it, in a sense, I think this was a very relatable episode for a lot of people. It's kind of like, you have your vision of how something that you've done since childhood is done, and then you kind of have your expectations of how everyone else does it, and those expectations sometimes can lead you to not enjoying something that otherwise would be enjoyable. I don't know about rock soup, but yeah, I mean, in general, it was, because I've been in that scenario where, I'm like, oh, but this isn't how my family does it, or
this is different.
So I thought it was a good episode. I felt like it really hit upon some important things. So yeah.
Well,
Sarah, did you just want popcorn?
Oh, and now I gotta know about the popcorn here. So, for those who don't know, so like we were saying, Applejack's family visits the farm, and they are in high hopes of traditions of like we're gonna have some good food, good times, get to do a bunch of things that we're used to. And the Pinky's family is like, well, here's rocks. We'll do rocks, and we'll do rocks. Oh yeah, we do Christmas very different around here at the rock.
This rock is shaped like a Lyra plush. Okay.
I'm rock hard. Oh, please, Maud, enough. So we, like Grace says, we had to discover more about Pinky's family, her two other sisters, one named Marble, who's a quiet type, and then one who is Limestone, who's a very, like, almost
bitch.
Like Gilda. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Wasn't very redeemable as far as, I from what I saw. I was like, damn.
It's Gilda.
She's just not, yeah, I mean, yeah, but even Gilda, I feel like, is getting close to, like, redeem stage.
Hold on one second. What's up?
I'm home. I came back without anything. Those were the
Ladies and gentlemen,
I've ever dealt with.
Really?
we have entered the danger zone.
Our manager, I said, this is crazy.
I believe
She said, did I not have the right
Saber's mom
shoes? I wasn't wearing
has discovered the semi-perfect podcast.
Okay.
Remain calm.
manager. I'm talking to the general manager.
Remain
He's calling me tomorrow.
Okay.
quiet.
Anyway, it was like, okay, we're gonna get to nothing. But anyway,
Let me go. Leave. Let me go. All right, leave him on. We made it. We survived.
Ah, that was close.
All right, so hijinks occur. I guess occur is the word. A harbor, and
Arbor Day.
You, that's got to become a holiday now. So you have Apple's family not used to it, and then Applejack kind of encroaches on Pinkie Pie's family tradition by changing everything and making them like lose their giant rock that they love so much. And I mean, overall, kumbaya. They all come together and they're like, okay, well maybe we'll share traditions, and maybe Christmas really isn't about Jesus Christ and it's a pagan holiday. That was weird when they said that in the episode.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. But, the use of Jesus Christ throughout all the episodes has really been one of the defining factors of the VeggieTales, and I think I think we'll stick right with it.
I've always wondered what would happen if they had a Jesus, like, Passion of the Christ version of VeggieTales, where you have, like, a cucumber being nailed to, like, a cutting
I thought you were
board.
going to say the same thing about My Little Pony and be like, yeah, Starswirl the Bearded is there up on the cross. And it's like,
Forgive them, Celestia, for they not know what they do.
yeah, no, it was like I said. Now I posted this on Twitter that we're gonna kind of hit on, and granted, as far as Applejack's side with their traditions, we don't really see those so much. We more hear about them. You know, the opening present. A lot of them are kind of very standard, you know, oh yeah, like I felt like Applejack was the one that you were supposed to be able to relate to. Where, you know, going off to the other home is the one where you're like, oh, this is different. Pinkie Pie's family does it kind of.
Very differently. Rock soup.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man. I don't know. Huh? Like I get I some of it sounded like, oh, that's interesting until you hear like more about it. Like the hiding of the presents is like, oh, that's kind of like an Easter take on it. Until Pinkie goes further and explains, yeah, we don't usually even find any of them. It's like, okay, so why?
Dumb.
Very.
The only good thing about this episode is Big Mac and Marble.
You think so?
That's the only good thing.
I saw a really funny GIF on Twitter where like somebody posted it from Pirates of the Caribbean where it just was Jack Sparrow yelling, "Stop blowing holes in my ship." And it had a picture of those two.
Stop blowing holes in my ship.
I love it. I just thought that was brilliant.
I gotta find that. No, because she's quiet and kind of like a Fluttershy thing going on, and that's the closest we'll ever get to that. And
wasn't she like a Fluttershy like recolor
in a way because of her long hair.
Reject.
What she goes? She was Is that what she does or what?
Yeah, she's the instead of the yep or whatever.
And Shirley's like, she's like, something's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I got a feeling.
And then you got Fluttershy over here, who's always been a potential. Interesting. Yeah, no, you thought that was the best part of the episode?
I thought it was adorable when they were pushed. I'm a sucker for blushing. I don't know. When I see characters blush, like Pearl and Steven Universe, or the ponies, like Twilight, or whatever, I'm like, oh.
Or Chip and Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Who?
What?
Stop blowing holes in my shit.
No, yeah, you know the one thing they were missing from that scene, and Saber, you could tell me how you feel about what I'm about to say.
Okay.
What if they had some form of mistletoe that those two had to deal with?
That'd be adorable. They probably wouldn't kiss, because, I mean...
Do you feel like it would be too forced if they did?
No. I think it'd be cute. I think they blush, and then the camera would pan off, and then it pans back and it has them just doing the nastiest sex you could ever imagine.
It's kind of funny. I see a lot of people in the chat right now kind of chanting out for Fluttercord. I personally don't feel that one. Like, I don't. Like, if anything, I see more of a connection between Celestia and Discord.
Yeah, Fluttercord doesn't make sense. That's the stupidest ship ever. It's like
Fluttershy is his, like, babysitter or caretaker. It's like, all right.
They're not banging. They're just friends. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, I see one person puts Ray Spark.
More like Saber Best.
Oh. Yeah, that flows a little bit better. Doesn't it? AS Spank.
Just
that's it. Ass.
Our ship is ass. Stop blowing holes in my ship. If we're talking about shipping, like, there's only a few ships that actually can set sail in the harbor.
Yep.
We're just gone full circle.
It really has.
It really has. The only ships that can set sail in my harbor of love, Celestia and Discord. I think there's something there.
We're gonna find out that they've been lovers this whole time, and Celestia's just been like, I knew everything.
Yeah. She put him in rock because he couldn't get hard, and she's like, I'll fix it once and for all.
Rejuvenation.
Bam.
So, yeah, man, this has been a really sexual episode. Hasn't it?
We've been keeping it clean for the most part.
Yeah,
and 5 episodes, and we're like, in Fluttershy's cat-like penis.
You know what this reminds me of is when we went to Fiesta Equestria, and we were part of their 18+, whose line is it anyway? And we were all kind of like, you know what? let's see how clean we can keep it. And
Yeah.
first joke, man. The first time you and I both walked up there, and it was just like, well, that went out the window.
Yep. Very quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah.
I made a motion that my character was drinking a used condom. And that's when I realized that I shattered every single child.
That you're at a pony convention.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm 26, I'm doing this, and I can vote and rent a car and fight in the military.
I'm a success, Dad. Take that.
Heard the family name?
That's the thing I always crack up about is some of the stories I could tell my parents and go, no, this one ought to just no.
Oh, here's a ship. I think Soren and Rainbow Dash, that works. I'm losing ideas. Never mind. Go on.
Well, Applejack and Pinkie Pie are cousins, so there's a ship just kind of.
Heading to the south.
All right, now that we're just going deeper into the rabbit hole.
Oh.
Angel. All right. Damn.
Are there any other thoughts about the episode?
So as far as traditions go, would you say you're definitely more on par with the Apple family than the the Pie family?
The Rock. Oh my God! Freaking like Dwayne Johnson just sitting in the corner. Like I hate.
Why wasn't he there?
Why? Yeah. What is my sister's marble limestone and my brother? The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
So yeah, I mean, so would you say you're more on par with that or the other?
The Pinkie Pie's family, and by the way, imagine what it must have been a shock for Apple or for Pinkie Pie's mom to be like, okay, gray mare, wow, pink, like wow, that's complete opposite.
Yeah.
So, you know what's funny, dude, is I recently, and this is kind of in the same vein of the Shining Armor Cadence having a baby, and then going back even further to the Cakes having a Pegasus and a unicorn. Is I was watching this Netflix movie. It was a kind of a compilation of like the something in the Willows with Mr. Mad Toad. What's his name?
Wind in the Willows?
Wind in the Willows, I'm sorry. That's the one. And they had some other short movies afterwards. And they had one with the ugly duckling. And when the baby swan hatched and walked around honking, the dad, who was oh so proud before, then looked at the wife with suspicion like, what the hell have you been doing? I thought that was the funniest thing ever. But going back to it, so, I mean, Pinkie Pie's family, they're Amish. There's definitely an Amish feel going on at their house.
Absolutely. Oh, no question.
And I mean, Apple's family tradition's better. I mean, it seems more human.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing was that a lot of the Rock family traditions, granted, some of them paralleled the Apple family's traditions. You know, they both had some form of a doll. Did you like how Dick Butt made an appearance?
Yeah, I noticed that Dick Butt made it into the show.
I was like, what? Okay.
Well, why the heck not?
Like I said, there were a lot of parallels, but like amongst the things that I didn't get, and I think it's the thing that threw me off the most, was the Rock soup. I was like, okay,
That doesn't
what?
make sense.
And the Pinkie's dad was eating the Rock. I'm like, what is this? Like, there's no nutritional okay. Like,
Well,
is it
I know
rock
that
cake?
like some animals eat rocks to help them digest. I know that much.
Really?
Yeah, like chickens will do that. They'll eat pebbles because they can't burp or throw up, I believe. I'm serious.
Oh.
I remember learning this from a dinosaur book when I was a kid, where it had like a brontosaurus eating pebbles and rocks, and they said like much like a chicken, you know, dinosaurs could not burp or digest properly, so they.
I'm just imagining this book, and like you have like your like little guy that has a speech bubble explaining what's going on, and it's just Jeff Goldblum, like, and here we see the massive pile of shit.
My ship.
Oh God. Yeah, no, so I agree. Tradition wise, I was like, man, I'm not saying it's wrong. You know, they have their own traditions, But at the same time, I don't know. I felt like I've seen not a lot, but I've seen a little bit of like kind of a burn mark towards Applejack in this episode, and I don't get why. Like all she was doing was like, "Hey, we've done your side of things. You want to see our side?"
Yeah,
and it was
there's
like
nothing wrong with that.
it was like she freaking burnt down the house. It's like, get over it, guys.
Get
God,
over it.
isn't this the whole point of why you were spending the time together? And then the Apple family, if I'm correct, were the ones who were like, yeah, we should go back. You know, it was like, I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't feel the love from the Pie family.
No, they definitely could have made some compromise.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. But I did find a couple other things cute, like the Apple Bloom mod conversation. It was short, but
Yeah,
the way
that was adorable.
you could see that Michelle Krieber really felt a connection with Mod Pie.
I liked Maud in this episode. I thought she was they put her in there where she wasn't like, because she had her own episode before, and it was good to see her again, like just kind of part of the family. Like it didn't feel like she was trying too hard. She was just perfect.
Not overused.
Exactly.
And then that other sister, Limestone or whatever. I just
Didn't really care for her.
she can stay. Stay there.
Far away. I
Yeah.
like Marble though. She was great.
Yeah, she was a fun character as well.
Thought she was
It's funny
adorable.
though, because like the one last thing I'll point out about her is that she kind of reminded me of when like Discord sucked out the powers. Word choice.
Oh.
But, when Discord first showed
Discord.
up. Shut up!
Discord. I'm hurling at the moon.
With my goosebumps. I'm eating Sour Patch Kids today.
Why are you eating sour candy while on a talk show? Why the hell not?
Because it was a 1 point down. God. Okay.
Discord.
Sarah.
It's her birthday. I'm 1 point down.
Sarah, come here.
Why don't you just fucking bring me into the Skype call? If you're gonna
No.
call me over
Let's do it.
No.
times.
You want to get in the Skype call?
Whatever.
Oh, she said whatever.
Yep.
Sarah, what did you think of the episode?
That was alright. I feel they were a little arch on Applejack.
Who it was?
Like the Pie family.
Why?
Limestone Pie was like, get out!
Well, what are your thoughts on Limestone Pie?
I don't like her.
Why not?
She's mean.
Mean?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why. She's just mean.
Off.
For no reason.
Yeah.
And you've heard it here first, folks. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah, I add you to the call. You should join us for our conversation here. I want to get her
It's-
opinion on our fandom's bad
Yes.
topic.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and warm that conversation up right now? We're gonna shift into that because this is some really interesting that you put up a poll earlier on Twitter, and I was like,
let me pull it up here.
"This is a great conversation piece."
Yes. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the call. I'm going to find that post I made and see where the results are. Before we begin, let's go ahead and do a quick little 0 out of 10 kind of like poll or whatever. Like, what did you think of the episode? Out of 10, what'd you give it?
Probably a 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when you say really Saber, do you think that was high or low?
I thought she would have gotten lower.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, it was an
I-
alright episode.
Yeah, I think that again, I don't think there's been too many bad episodes this season, which is good.
Which is really good.
Yeah, there was that one Equestria Girls episode.
Episode.
Yeah, no. What would I give it? I'd probably give it. I want to say. I'd probably give it an 8.
Really? Okay, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, really? You went that low?
Yeah, well, You know what? No, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 as well. What's in my mind? Because I just thought, like, did I really? Is there anything I didn't anything I disliked?
I disliked limestone pie.
Yeah, there's that. That.
For the record, this is kind of funny. I just saw that Sarah had sent me a message earlier that says, "Talk about dick butt rock," and I didn't even see that. So she was on the same wavelength.
Or that porno.
And yeah, looking, it looks like there's probably an average of a 7.5 coming from the audience. So, yeah, no, I'm like you guys, where the thing that worked for me in this episode though was that because there wasn't a lot of like not good stuff, but like I said, for me it was the relatable side. It was that I enjoyed. It was like, oh wow, I feel like I've been in this situation. Like I can feel Applejack in this. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. And plus, getting to meet some new characters was cool.
That wasn't me clapping for the show. That was me killing a mosquito.
Oh. Now, okay, so Sarah, we brought you in because we're gonna have a deep conversation.
I'm getting my notes out for this.
Oh, you have notes?
Yeah, I'm getting some notes out. I mean, I don't want to be taking notes because I'm gonna be making a video about this. But continue.
Oh, okay.
And everyone in the chat, go ahead, chime in whenever you want. Even though for how fast the chat goes, good luck to us. So Saber, you posted a poll on Twitter.
Yes.
Oh, I was distracted because Daniel posted his food. I see guacamole, so I'm excited. Let's see, Chewy boy.
At the end of every podcast, I'm gonna make a montage of all the food with the Mando Ponies loyalty song, like what you do with the vlogs. That's why I call it loyalty.
I like how
ham sandwich.
Dexter made a picture of the Paleo Hurricane Paleo.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So adorable.
I appreciate it, guys. So Saber, since this is kind of your deal, do you want to introduce the topic here?
Sure. So the topic is, are fandoms bad? That's going to be the topic for our episode. And I got this question stuck in my mind about a week or two ago when I was working. For those who don't know, I'm currently looking for other jobs and careers while I get my life straightened out. So
he misspoke. It was meant to say jobs in Korea.
Korea, yes, I'm going to be moving
That's
in with
what
Kim Jong-un. Right after this Harbor Day, I might go ahead and move out there. So I'm currently working as a barista at Starbucks. Woo! Just to make some money on the side while I do some job hunting. So I work with a very lively group of coworkers, and I love working in the food industry because the people there keep it very real. They have little to hide. They're there to punch a clock, serve the food, and then head home, like to make their money so they can survive or go to school or whatever. Unlike the world of sales where people can be very fake. So when I was working one night, I was working with my shift supervisor named Josh and working with my other coworker named, I believe his name is Joel. I'm still learning names. And just to summarize it up, Josh is Squidward. And I'm not joking. He's Squidward. He hates everything. And it's the greatest thing ever. Because I'm like SpongeBob. All nice to customers. And like, hey, have a good day. Ah!
Too bad that didn't kill me.
Oh, there was a great one. Because you know how Squidward, one episode where someone's like, you have any more ketchup? I don't know. Can you check for me? No. Josh did that. Where these little kids walked up and they're like, do you have any more raspberry syrup in the back? He's like, I don't know. Can you check for us? No. I just fell on the ground laughing. I was like, that's the funniest thing ever. And he's being completely serious. And he's a shift supervisor, so I don't know why he's so highly, on the totem pole as far as this location goes compared to, the fact that he hates his job, whatever. So, to get back to the point, one day I was working with him and Joel, and both these guys are about my age, and we got on the topic, and they're both, they have beards and nerdy guys, and we got on the topic of fandoms. and or more specifically, like video game fandoms. And apparently, Joel and another coworker there were big fans of League of Legends. Like they played it a lot. And I said, "Oh, I've played that game a little bit. It's all right. What do y'all think about it?" And Josh just goes, "I hate their fandom so much. They ruined the game for me." And I was like, "Wow." And they were going on and on about how toxic that fandom is. And about a week later, I asked him that question again because I wanted to come back and ask him some more specifics. And I said, "So, Josh, we talked about this before, but I want to ask you again, what about, I asked him straight out saying, are fandoms bad?" And he goes, "Yes, they create a hostile environment for people who are newcomers, and they make things too tense." And I'm like, wow, that's okay. And I decided right there and then I want to do a video called "Are Fandoms Bad?" which we already know is not really a yes or no question. There's a lot of shades of gray, as with anything to do with people.
And oh yeah.
So we're going to, I guess, jump
Sex.
into this. Let's sex it up. Let's jump into this topic. I want to see what you all think, both the chat and Sarah and Race, and we'll dig around, see what we can find. And
Saber, I want to start off here with something that you mentioned to me.
yes,
And it is kind of getting a little, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit dark, maybe a little bit deep to start it off, but it's something that I had not heard of until you and I had talked today.
yes.
That apparently, and I don't know if, Sarah, you may have heard of this too, but apparently something occurred in the Steven Universe fandom. Is that the one it was?
Yeah.
Sarah, you're aware of this?
Yeah.
Sarah, do you want to explain to the chat for those who don't know?
There was an artist who a lot of people were being very hostile to because she drew things the way they didn't want her to draw them. Like I only did like a little bit of research on this thing, but apparently she drew rose quartz skinny, and then she drew like pearl with yellow skin and slanty eyes. And so a lot of people were like, well, that's racist, it's okay to criticize, but a lot of the people that were criticizing her art were getting really, really hostile, and it was escalating really quickly. And apparently she attempted suicide. And so now the Crewniverse, the people who work on the show, they're stepping up and being like, dude, you guys let people draw what they want to draw. And of course a lot of people are like, oh, well, now you support this or this, the like pedophilia or whatever. And they're like, no, we didn't say that. And it's just a mess.
If I'm correct, isn't this the second time that the show staff have had to step in and be like, "Fandom, shut up"?
I think.
Like I thought there was something that happened.
Wasn't there some Bernie related where they're like, just shut up and chill out? Or am I incorrect?
That might have been a
don't know.
different. Because yeah, speculation. I don't know. I am trying to make sure that the stream didn't die.
Did it die?
No, it might not have. I think it's on my end.
I don't
You know when
think
you
so.
see it like do its like refresh thing, I'm like,
No,
oh,
that's good.
okay, cool,
That's good.
cool. Just me. Sorry, everybody. Yeah. So as far as it goes, and we're not just aiming. It's just an example at the Steven Universe fandom. I think it's safe to say that all three of us are very big fans of Steven Universe.
Yes.
Sarah got me into it. Like she's done various other cartoons. And yeah, it's not us, just getting on that, but going to the more broad scheme, our fandom's bad. And and the first thought that jumps into my mind, Saber, for this is no. Fandoms are not bad. It is very broad in the sense of like you can ask the question, is humanity bad? It's like, well, you got your good people, you got your bad people, and you got, you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose, so to speak, who's in your fandom. It's not something that you can be selective like a group of friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one of the most annoying things I ever hear people say, and I'm going to pick what I'm about to say apart, but is the statement when someone says, the fandom ruined blank for me. Now, the people that you work with saying that is a little bit different, because I feel like I've never played myself, but if my understanding is correct, League of Legends is very much an interactive type of game.
Well, it's a
Isn't
MOBA, a massive online battle arena, and it's one of the most popular games on Earth. And one thing I had to also clarify was exactly what is fandom. Like, if you play Halo, like, occasionally, I played the game. It was good. I enjoyed it. Does that make you part of the Halo fandom? And is fandom something where you have to have a certain level of passion and dedication in order for you to classify as a fandom type person? Or, like, Star Trek fandom, Star Wars fandom, do sports have fandoms? What exactly is fandom? And
Right.
according to, I think it was Webster's, I think Webster's included it. Let me find, if I recall. I'll look it up. Hold on one moment.
While you look that up, kind of looking over what some people are saying. Shifro commented here saying fandoms are what make people come together and have fun. It forms friendships and bonds for which people can hold on to later on in their long or short lives.
I have some definitions, by the way, and it
You
is
got definitions.
from Webster. So it says fandom, definition of fandom is all the fans, parentheses, as of a sport. Number 2 meaning is the state or attitude of being a fan. So fandom, I mean, this is a term that I also had to, like, I guess try to figure out back in the day when people were like, well, what makes a brony? Is it a male fan? Is it a female fan? Can females be bronies? If you watch the show once, does it make you a brony? Are you part of the fandom? Like, that's why I feel like, in reality, fandom is something where I feel like you have a bit more, you're a bit more driven about that subject than others. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched football. I know football. I watched a game with my dad. It doesn't make me a Broncos fandom or college football team fandom. I watched Doctor Who once. Does that mean I'm part of the Doctor Who fandom? Of course not. I know it. Star Wars fandom? Yes, I love Star Wars. I actively look, it up on the internet, on Wikipedia. And I know. Steven Universe. I love that.
Wow.
I love that show, and I love being a fan of it. I feel like what classifies fandom is your level of how much you are into the show. So that it's the differentiator between being somebody who's almost an acquaintance with a show or a movie or a band or an actor versus someone who knows a lot about it, actively seeks it out, and likes to talk about it.
Now, you mentioned Steven Universe, and I missed the most important part of it. Did you say you do or don't consider yourself part of the Steven Universe fandom?
I do. I do, in the sense that, like, I don't really read what the fandom has to say about, like, the show. It's funny. It's almost like I've got these little pillars of different size or pedestals, and I put certain things on the top that I enjoy the most. Like, I love Game of Thrones. I love talking about Game of Thrones. I love speculating about the story and talking about the characters. For Steven Universe, I like doing that with my close friends, but I don't go online looking for fan, fics. I'll look at some fan art here and there. So there's different levels of passion. Like I'm saying, this is all about, I guess, how dedicated you are. You all love Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. And your fandom being smaller, like I was...
Tiny.
It's very tiny. It's very small.
Yeah.
Like 20 people.
Exactly.
We're like that Olympics team that walks in and they're like, and here we have one representative. They're carrying the flag as well as their shoes and luggage right now.
They're already ready to go home, and they've already lost the initial game.
And then you got like the Brony fandom walking in behind, and it's like, you know, the USA, where it's like, God, does it end? Where, wow. You know, for me, it's kind of funny because like you said, even with a definition of fandom, people will personally define what a fandom is to, you know, for themselves. So, you know, you can have a definition of what it is, but then someone can be like, yeah, but that's not what a fandom is to me. Oh, okay, whatever. For me, I think where I consider being part of a fandom is interactivity, I think. Because, like, for me, when I rediscovered Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, I never really considered myself part of a fandom until I found the Acorn Cafe, until I found people that were congregating together on the internet just to talk about the show. And granted, you know, we're talking about not just the show. After 20 years, you talk about other things. But, you know, you still have people who are making artwork, stories, not so much videos, not like we got in other fandoms. But it's really interesting because I know that I've always kind of had maybe a fluid definition of what a fandom is, and that's just because I feel like it ever evolves.
So do you feel like fandom is what makes fandom versus fan? Is if you're a fan, you kind of enjoy the subject, but to yourself and watch the show. While fandom is you're seeking out people to engage about that show.
I think to an extent, yeah. Like, here's an example. Though I don't tell a lot of people about certain things I'm into, and it's only because as you guys know, I try to avoid spoilers. Sarah could tell you I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead, which is a show that you want to avoid spoilers on, and it's one reason you guys don't really see me talk about it outside of maybe the show. And with that, like even though I haven't, like, I guess you could say, gone out and looked for people to discuss the show with, I still think, like, I consider myself part of the fandom because it's not, it leaves the television, and I'll go and look up more stuff and see what other people are talking about and what people interpreted about the episode. I might not discuss it with other people so much, but again, I don't know, like, I would consider myself part of that fandom, even though by my own definition that I earlier described as far as seeking out people and interacting with others kind of goes against that. So that's where it's like, it feels like it's a fluid type of thing. Like, yeah, I consider myself part of the Walking Dead fandom because I'm a huge fan of the show. I consider myself part of the Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger fandom because it's, you know, I immersed myself with the fandom. And then the obvious one being the Brony fandom. And I've said this before, and I stand by this, is that that fandom is what the, I guess you could say, user makes it. You know, there's people that, people have bad experiences, people have good experiences, people make friends, people make enemies. And the thing that I always say whenever I hear somebody get into a complaint about, this is why the Brony fandom is this, or this is why any fandom is this, is I ask, is it because of it being specifically, like, let's use Bronies for example, is it because it's the Brony fandom, or because that person that someone had an issue with is just an
exactly
asshole?
And that's why extremists ruin everything, from religion to politics to fandoms, and stupid extremists ruin Buddhism for me. No, I guess it's the idea, because humans are very quick to judge creatures. We rarely do our homework and check our sources. That's why whenever you have a bad experience with one loudmouth, you tend to label the rest of the group like, oh, well, they all act like that. It's a stereotype. And bronies are, you know, no exception to that rule. At work, I asked the guys, I said, what are your top 5 worst fandoms? And what fandoms do you think are the worst, top 5? And they both instantly said bronies are first. And I'm like, really? And I said, why? Why them? What makes them worthy of that spot on your list.
There's this guy named Saber Sparks that we've seen some of his videos. Dear Lord, you should see his 300 video.
As I drop my little mug of skim milk and it hits the ground, and I'm like, oh,
slow motion.
I gotta espresso. But puns aside, they said they're just weird. We don't get them. We don't understand why they like what they like. And for a moment, I thought, wow, dang, I've done multiple videos talking about the fandom and in hopes that I could reach out to some folks, and I have, and it's flattering, it's cool, it makes me feel like I've done something, I guess, to help somebody understand something. Like, if you're taking the time to learn about something, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with learning something unless you're learning how to make a bomb or terrorism or something. Like learning is a very pure pursuit. Even if it's something crazy, you're still educating yourself. And that makes you wiser. It makes you better to make a judgment call or form an opinion. And these guys, I think they lack the information to really make a call about the fandom. Like, yeah, it's weird. Of course it's weird. Bronies are weird. I think they're weird. We're all weird. But I think they're far from the worst, personally. And I'm not trying to be biased. I really just think there are other fandoms out there that are much more aggressive. And Bronies have a bad rep because they stand out like a sore thumb. But I'm getting off track right now. So, Sarah, I want to hear your opinion. So, with the fandom stuff, do you feel like fandoms they do more harm than good, or what's...
Real quick,
Yeah,
before Sarah does answer this, I just want to throw in that I think the obvious thing to point out here is that one of the biggest reasons that Bronies probably ended up on their list is because of how big the fandom is, not because of how weird the fandom is. Well, it's something that comes to mind, and you go, "Well, that's weird." But like, if they had a list of every fandom in the world,
are the two mutually exclusive though?
In what sense?
Oh, I mean, Bronies are big and weird. Like, I mean, we're not like Bronies aren't.
Oh, so now we're talking about obesity.
Fat shaming now. No, so I'm not saying that Bronies aren't a big thing, but another video I want to do, and this one will definitely rustle some jimmies, is the Bernie fandom dying, because it has died off a little bit in the sense that it's lost some of its momentum, but it's
here he goes.
It's made enough of a splash to at least like warrant attention from like news media back in the day, not as much as it used to, but
is that again mutually exclusive? Is it because that it's been around that it's like, okay, well, it's not news anymore? Because at the time it was a new thing. Like, now it's like, hey, guys, I just found out about this Brony fandom. We should do a story on them. Well, they've been around for a while. I don't think anyone cares anymore. Like, it's like, is it new? Like, we still have people that show up. I just think it because it was so new and so different, everyone was like, oh, wow. I don't think it necessarily means it's dying.
No, like, I think it's lost momentum. I think that
like, is the tree outside dying? Well,
what Samurai Jack kind of example are you using right now? Prince Zuko, the tree
sustains.
No, well, I mean, like, I know it's not Samurai Jack. I know, but it has the same voice act.
Kung Fu Panda.
No, that's another.
I'm sorry.
Wax on.
We're talking about Jackie Chan Adventures. All right, so what I'm trying to say is, if you look online, like, okay, so initially the Brony explosion was pretty big. Okay, it's
speaking of bombs, yeah.
Allah Akbar! But ISIS aside, so how do I even segue back onto what we're talking about after saying Allah Akbar? All right.
So back to the Brony fandom.
You know what's funny is someone's gonna join the podcast. See my tweet. We're having a very educational discussion about our fandom's bad. Bring your discussion. We'll have some sources here and we'll discuss what we think. And they join the podcast and all I hear is Allah Akbar.
That was an Indian.
That's pesky Native American terrorist. with their.
Sarah right now is just sitting back, just rolling her eyes, going, "Why am I even here?"
All right, so not to offend any other subcultures or cultures in general or people.
White
let's-
people, man.
Yeah, who can stand those freaks? So, back to it.
Yeah.
Sarah, what's your thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, I think I agree with Jeffrey on his definition of fandom. It's definitely there's.
That's me, by the way. Hi, everyone.
Oh yeah, AC
Jeffrey.
race best.
Oh.
I definitely agree with his perspective on like what constitutes being in a fandom. Like level of interaction definitely plays an important part. Like I would say I'm active in maybe only like 3 or 4 fandoms and myself. I consider myself to be a Wreck-It Ralph in the Wreck-It Ralph fandom, Wander Over Yonder fandom, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, and then My Little Pony, because, you know, to me, what a fandom is, you know, talking to other people about the thing that you like and making friends and, just talking about the thing that you like together. Like, I've made a lot of friends in the Wreck-It Ralph fandom, and I have my own blog that I've kind of been neglecting for that fandom in particular. I think Wreck-It Ralph's probably the, I wouldn't say it's the biggest fandom. I'm trying to put it into words like I take part in that fandom the most. So yeah, as far as what constitutes as being in a fandom, I definitely agree with Jeffrey on that point. As far as fandoms being bad or good, I think it just depends on the fandom. Like, no fandoms are going to be perfect. They're always going to have people in there that you're just not going to stand at all. And sometimes the level of people who you can't stand gets bigger than you want to tolerate, and sometimes it just stays small, and you're still able to just enjoy yourself in the fandom. But yeah.
No, I'm actually taking down some notes of what you're saying. You're saying some very solid things. I think to answer the question, and by the way, like I was talking to Paley about this, about when fandoms became a thing. Like, what was the first real fandom? And that's kind of hard to say because like Webster's
The fandom menace.
Stop it. Oh Lord. Like Webster says, a fandom's being a fan of something, and I mean, they were fans of the Colosseum back in the Roman days. So is there a Colosseum message board? Oh, I got this, this scroll in the mail. We're gonna go meet Claudius down here and go, nerd out, and then we'll have a discussion afterwards. Is there the mammoth hunting fandom? Is there the farming fandom? Things like that. Fandom, in my opinion, is a product of modern technology, where due to the 20th century's advances and, of course, the spit and polish of the 21st century, you get to have people communicate. And this is why I agree with you all. Interaction, communication, talking to other people, that's what makes fandom. Because if not, you're just a fan by yourself. That's it. It's all about sharing your passion with others, and I agree with you. And like you said, Sarah, it just so happens you'll bump into some dicks while you're out there, and that sucks. What can you do? You're going to meet some people who are just jerks, and you're not going to like them. But chances are there's going to be a lot of good folks amongst them, and it just so also happens to go that the loudmouths are the ones who get the most attention. So, what's that old phrase? The squeakiest wheel gets the oil, or something like that, or gets the grease?
Yeah.
You're an engineer. Can you confirm this for me?
That I would like to confirm that is it.
Wonderful. Good.
Yeah.
Great. So, I guess the ultimate question being, are fandoms bad? And we all kind of knew this going into our conversation. No, they're not.
No.
And like Ray says,
Like as I said on Twitter, they're never inherently bad. Like they don't ever start off bad. They can turn bad.
can you think of any examples of fandoms that have just gone rotten? Like, which ones can you guys not stand?
Well, I guess if, and this is I'm not saying this as much like as a joke actually, but to some extent you can maybe even consider some terrorist groups as
Are you saying that ISIS is a fandom?
well, I mean,
Muhammad, how about you
do
just...
they get together for conventions and have panels and stuff? I mean, are there cosplaying ISIS members? I don't know.
We got some of our show staff, and then we got some community guests here. Muhammad here from northern Syria. He's going to be doing a panel on best practices with bomb creation. After that, there's going to be the dance around 7 p.m., and then we'll have some Black Griffin, Michelle Krieber here
All right.
performing for you later tonight.
Yeah, we're going to do a special interview with Osama bin Laden. However, he can't join us today, so it'll be a Skype call. Still be good.
With his corpse that's floating at the bottom of the ocean.
It's some guy. Okay, so, but that's my point is that like it depends on the definition, like how broad. How do you go? Most of us, I think, can agree that in the most case, like yeah, you mentioned sports teams, but I don't think people consider those as much of a fandom as being a fan of.
Now, I asked my coworker that. I said, "Do you consider sports to be fandom?" He goes, "Absolutely." And I feel like it's one of the biggest double standards ever because you think of fandoms, you think of geek culture. But look at sports teams and how fanatic they can be about what they love. It is insane. I think it's absolutely fandom. Just that for whatever reason, for the longest time, the term fandom is people thought it's geek, it's nerd, Star Trek, Star Wars.
I've always personally associated it with entertainment. Not
Sports aren't entertaining.
Sports entertainment. I know. But like in the sense of like books, television shows, movies,
media,
anything. Media. Yeah, so that's where I've always looked at it. Like you got sports fans, fandoms.
There's a part of my video I'm going to address this because I feel like it's actually worthy of directly mentioning.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between geek culture fandoms and mainstream fandoms? And I mean, well, no, our mainstream like Justin Bieber. Are his fans a fandom? Absolutely.
You asked, by the way, not to throw you off topic, but you did ask what fandoms, if any, have gone just rotten.
Okay, go on.
And Sarah, I was wondering if there were any that you could think of.
I've been part of so few. I've never personally,
Have you guys ever left a fandom?
Well, as a joke, yes, I have.
Well, that was the other Saber Spark.
Rebus. Are there any fans I can't stand?
Rebus.
Yeah, it's Saber backwards.
It sounds like such a Georgian name.
I've probably I've left fandoms before, but it wasn't because of the people. It's just because I lost interest.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
See, I have a thick skin, so I don't really get bothered too easily.
Well, that's the thing too. Is I don't get like I said, with a video game that involves direct interaction with people, I can get where that's like the people like if say you're playing TF2 and there's people that annoy the crap out of you, and every time you go on, it's just annoying. It's like, okay, what's the point of playing anymore? I'm not having a good time. Is different than a TV show or a movie where someone's when people say, and I'm only using bronies because, hello, most of us, if not all of us here, are bronies, is that like when someone says, bronies ruined the show for me, I just laugh. I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, there's no other way around it. If some group of people have ruined the show for you, then that is your own personal problem. You put either, I don't know what you did, but the show should be the driving factor of your interest to begin with. The fandom should come secondary to that. If it's the other way around, which for a lot of people, they got into the fandom first and then got into the show, I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just funny when I hear someone say, I can't watch the show anymore because of the fandom. It's like, no. I'm sorry, but no.
And I saw something interesting on, I think Lauren Faust retweeted this. It was from like the Mary Sue or something, where it was talking about girl entertainment, and that's another video I want to do here. That won't be a lot more of a stretch because I need to get lots of interviews. but the way we treat Bieber fans or One Direction fans, like it's almost like, ha, losers. Twilight fans, losers, and there's nothing wrong.
Well, yeah. No. I agree with that.
Well, I mean, honestly, there's nothing wrong with a girl being a fan
I was joking.
of like, I mean, because that goes back to like the Beatles. Girls were and guys, but mostly girls were like falling on their faces for this band, or for Elvis. And there's nothing wrong with being a fan of a musician or a band and being crazy over it. That's okay. That's like saying pink is bad and blue is better. It's not true. Though companies and their quality of pink entertainment.
I don't know, man. Ask Sarah.
Sarah, what do you think?
Ew, what? I'm sorry. I was reading something else.
Never mind.
It's a very
Sarah's
enthralling,
somewhere else.
capturing conversation.
But yeah, no, like you were saying.
We're talking about female entertainment.
No,
Yeah.
favorite,
Oh, no, we were
favorite
saying-
sex position.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I like that you sat there and considered it for a second. Like,
Well, as I was saying, the
can you really choose one?
triple reverse upside down cowboy that's my favorite. Absolutely. Now, no, the question is that, like, I was talking about like One Direction fans, Justin Bieber fans, and then Pink and Blue. Like, do you feel like the state of, like, okay, girl entertainment in that regard? I'm not talking about quality. I mean, there could be a really awesome band that makes great music for girls that are preteens and teenagers. What's your opinion on that kind of entertainment, on that kind of fandom?
I mean, girls, they can just enjoy whatever they want. I mean, I don't personally understand the whole thing with Justin Bieber or One Direction. I don't like their music, and Justin Bieber's kind of an asshole.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I mean, girls are gonna like what they like, and I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Do you think a lot of it though is, do you think it accumulates because it already has an accumulation where, like for Justin Bieber, there's so many fans that a lot of girls go, well, crap, I need to be a fan of his too. I need to be a big fan of his, because then, so many of my friends are already fans of theirs, where those friends might be fans because, oh, well, my friends like it.
I mean,
I'm not knocking. Hey, he's got great
The
music.
majority of them are just young girls, so they're growing up. They're probably gonna someday be like, oh, what's so great about this person or this band? And they'll most likely move on to something else. But I don't know. Like, they can be annoying at times, but they're just young girls, so I just kind of ignore it. I'm just
It's
like, well,
kinda-
honey, you're little.
Yeah. So, Saber, do you feel like you got some good notes here?
I absolutely did. This was a fun discussion.
And I want to thank everyone chiming in on the chat. I know that Saber and myself have really been keeping an eye on the chat. Obviously, with as fast as things go, we don't get to call out so much of it, but a lot of you have had some really great input here as well.
And there's some in Twitter that I will be reading off here in a moment. And there's a few more things I want to talk about before we get to the precise Q&A section of our show.
Yeah.
'Cause,
There's also something I need to bring up, but
Yes.
whenever we're ready.
So one thing I wanted to bring up is fandoms. Okay, so obnoxious fandoms. So a while ago, I know that Reddit had this thing where they'd post a video and people would go to the comments and say, the Reddit army is here. And at first, people said that jokingly, haha, Reddit's here, whatever. And then it became more and more obnoxious. People would be like, I'm from Imgur here, Reddit here, Game Grump fandom here. And I know for Reddit, it got really funny because people would make these fake accounts where they'd make like Fedora accounts where they'd leave comments saying, hi, level 190 IQ Redditor from Atheism here. I want to share my thoughts about this video. And it'd be the most obnoxious stuff ever. And people kept doing that with these fake accounts, posting on these videos and making Redditors look bad. And Redditors were getting pissed off about it because they're like, oh my God, we all look awful.
It backfired.
Well, in a way, and they're gone now. I don't know how they got rid of them, but they're gone. But that was kind of almost like an eye-opener to how obnoxious fandoms can be at time. But also, in all fairness, Reddit's a huge website, and those are just a few people talking on their behalf without, any arbitrary hear and say. So, do we want to hop to the Q&A, and then you can do your announcement?
Yeah, no, we could we can definitely work around a couple things. The announcement, by the way, for anyone wondering, involves Bronies React. So hang around for this. Maybe finish off the show with this announcement. But yeah, just kind of filling in some gaps here. I wanted to mention, I saw somebody mention, since we're talking about Reddit and whatnot, I saw Seth in the chat mention YouTube Red. And an interesting thing happened this week, Saber, where YouTube Red, I guess, kind of kicked into gear.
Yeah.
Maybe. And in doing so, YouTube, according to their email I got, they have some companies that have yet to confirm or deny what they want to do as far as content claims go. And what that has done is YouTubers all across the globe have had videos taken down that were previously fine. They had content claims, but they didn't have they weren't taken down. So I lost a couple of videos this week.
I lost one, but mine was already unlisted. YouTube Red, yeah, it's a new thing rolling out, and I recommend if you want to hear more about this, then tune in for POS podcast this Monday. I know Paley will be addressing this in greater detail, but just know that YouTube has some changes coming out here soon for its partners, and Race and I are both partners, so we'll see what happens.
Sarah, can you bring up your blanket?
Sarah, what was that? Did Sarah
It
explode?
was Jeffrey whispering to me. Apparently my mouse clicking is too loud.
No. No. It wasn't your mouse clicking. I ran in while you were still talking to whisper her to if she could mute her mic. And the reason for that is because I hear feedback coming from her room.
Really?
Yeah,
That's 'cause
I
you
can
talk
hear
too
it.
loud.
Close the door.
No, I don't!
So it begins.
Close the door.
No.
All right, children, please. So let's read some questions from the chat. So
Oh, man.
scrolling up here, and by the way, the final the poll here with our fandom's bad. 17% said yes, 83% said no, and that's 241 votes in total. So, I think most people.
More importantly, what about the waffles and pancakes?
Let's talk about the most important poll of all.
Yeah.
I asked, let's settle this once and for all.
I have a bad feeling that it's not going to get settled.
It's not. It's after 221 votes. Waffles and pancakes are tied 50-50.
But they can't be tied.
What the heck?
221 votes means that there's got to be a sway versus one to the other.
One butthole out there. Is gonna
Well, there has to be. There has to be because there's an uneven amount of votes.
Well,
Does it
who
actually
knows
give you
how
the number?
inaccurate Twitter is.
Well, this sucks because the answer is obviously waffles. It is superior, and you all agree with me. So,
A lot of people may have been like confused about what the poll was actually asking, so
well,
we could just assume that.
we'll assume that one is for waffles. So, okay, so let's go through some questions here, and we'll wrap this show up. So, yada, yada, yada.
And like we said, there's a big announcement coming here, so don't leave prematurely.
Not that many questions this time around. Drummer Shy, shout out to Drummer Shy, one of our good viewers, says, "Are any of you going to see the new Star Wars movie in December?" Abso-frickin-lutely.
Yes. I have a lot of help.
Where are people sending the questions to?
To my Twitter, but if you do the hashtag semi-perfect or semi-perfect podcast and all, I keep changing the hashtag. I should probably get one and stick with it.
Yes.
Hashtag semi-perfect.
SPP or SP podcast should be the one for now.
Hopefully Sarah's asking a question. let's see here. So I have one question here that someone asked a while ago, so I don't know if it was meant for the show, but they asked if we're making a React to Friendship games. That's something that we have announced that we are making. I think we've only announced it here on the show. Yeah, folks, by the way, just letting anyone know, if you ever see anybody asking about if there's going to be React to Friendship games, you could always just be like, yes. And we found out on the Semi-Perfect podcast.
Woo!
Whoa.
Rainbow Spec says, watching the Semi-Perfect podcast while eating hot dogs and tater tots and watching Race and Saber chat. Well, I'll be having a good evening, dude.
Oh, that is nice. Bobby One got a snack. So
Another
that's
shout out to Nathan saying, come watch the Semi-Perfect podcast with Race and Saber. Nathan, what's the Nathan? What's your sandwich?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't just make it up and go, oh, it's peanut butter and ham. Like, you can't do that. You've got to give us like the lowdown of exactly what it is.
Interesting combo there. Rainbow Spec asked, what kind of mic are you using for the stream? I am using a blue.
A blue what?
Thing.
Ball.
A blue ball? You got blue balls, Race?
I just got one.
You got a snowball.
Yeah. Why does it say blue? Doesn't that make you think it's a blue? Because it's a black microphone. Ball.
All right, we got one from Stubby saying, Ray, Saber, and Sarah, you're more than welcome to join us with these questions as well. What is your favorite candy? Well, folks.
Twix.
Oh, good answer.
That's my favorite.
Chocolate peanut butter cups.
A better answer.
Ooh.
You know what's great? Are those Cadbury eggs. I used to pretend I was one of those egg-eating dinosaurs from the Land Before Time, and I'd be like, eggs!
Oh my god. Sarah, sing the song.
I don't know the song by heart.
First thing I
Saber,
do in
look it
the
up.
morning, I eat eggs.
Eggs!
Exactly.
Also, I'm hungry. There's something in my tummy, but the...
Can't I just eat this leaf?
God, it's looking yummy.
I gotta eat and smell it. Crack it open a little. Those guys are so, like, flamboyant. I love it.
Rainbow Spec has another question here. He's asking, is there going to be a Halloween Bronies React? Been asked this quite a bit. Technically, no. There's not going to be a Halloween Bronies React. Partially due in part to the Equestria Girls React coming out to when it is, but more so due to the announcement that I'll have at the end of the Q&A.
Wait with anticipation. We get one from it's from Nathan saying, with all the celebrities saying they'll run for president, who would you like to see do it? So
Squidward.
I'm trying to think, what celebrity would I vote for? You know who would crush it probably is Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
I think he'd be a great president.
Yes.
Good question. I'm going to say the guy who played Borat.
Yes, which is funny because he did a movie called The Dictator, so there's that.
No, I don't know. One thing that I do laugh at, actually, just since this came up, is when celebrities give their political, like, stands on things, sometimes it makes me laugh because I'm like, you know, when it comes to politics, you and I are even. You just have more people on your Twitter. So.
Damn right I do. Crystal Dye says, what will you and Race be on Halloween, and how do you feel on Star versus the Forces of Evil?
Sarah, what are you going to be?
I'm gonna be a Ralph's deli worker for Halloween.
Really? That's creative.
Yeah.
That's so
I'm
funny.
going to be a...
Go
What
on.
are you going to be?
Go on. I want to hear yours.
I was going to... I want to... I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm going to be a race car announcer.
And that's
for
so
Halloween.
funny. I'm going to be a barista for
Really?
for Halloween.
Are we all working on Halloween?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, my God. We're all working Halloween night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow!
We are adults. We are adults.
One thing I want to actually mention. I was reading. One thing I do is when I watch a movie, I like going on IMDb and reading up on their trivia section because you'll find out some really interesting things, especially about like big movies like Jaws, or Titanic, or movies that were very popular and have very big backstories to how they were made. But then I also like going onto the message boards on IMDb and seeing like sometimes people come up with some interesting things about movies, theories or whatnot. And I was reading up on the Halloween, the movie Halloween with Michael Myers, who voices Shrek, and that there was a topic that was about trick or treating, and if trick or treating's a dying tradition.
What's your opinion?
Well, I guess the question I have for you, Saber, is have you noticed like a downslope in trick or treaters over the last few years?
I have actually. I have absolutely.
I have to. Now, granted, this is coming from someone who now lives in an apartment, so it seems like the trick or treating thing is kind of dying off, but not so much Halloween itself. I mean, it just seems like people are going to more contained type of.
I think
event.
more adults are getting into Halloween and celebrating it than kids.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, like it bothers me because I'm someone who, like, tradition wise, I'm big on traditions. And I don't want to see trick-or-treating go away. Even though I'm done doing it for the rest of my life until, I have kids that I'll probably walk around with. It's like, let's face it, the kids will be taking me trick-or-treating. But,
No, Clarissa, I get the candy. That's the Twix.
it's just interesting because I'm like, man, has it been dying off? And if it has been, it's like, that's really, I don't know, to me it's upsetting. Like, I don't want to see it just dying off. And people in the chat, if you've noticed anything too, again,
Free
go ahead.
candy.
It's free candy, but that, like, what worries me is that the more, or I guess I should say, the less people that go out and do it, the less people that are gonna get involved with it from their houses, and therefore I feel like the less it's gonna be, like, it's just gonna keep becoming less.
The way you're talking about this, seems like you've actually put some thought into it. Like you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, is trick-or-treating dying?
It in a sense, it hasn't kept me up, but it's come across my mind the last few years, because like I'll hear my parents talk about it. They live in a neighborhood, and hearing them talk about, well, I mean, as opposed to me in the apartment, but they talk about how, like, yeah, we barely had any trick-or-treaters this year, and I'm like, why? Where are they? What's going on? I don't know. It just, though I think the worst trend, like, downsloping is no fun, but are people that just walk up in their street clothes. I'm like, God, that's stupid.
All right, let's. We got 30 other interactions on my Twitter, so let's keep moving. So
yeah, no questions, right?
What's that?
Earlier, you were like, man, no questions.
No, yeah, I know this poured in, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do five quick ones here because most of the shout outs.
Hit him.
True Boy 66, who is Satan apparently, says, does this count with his drink in front of the screen? Thank you for watching the show. Daniel Munoz, those nachos look great. Bobby One says, what pony will it be in the pony giveaway thing? Oh man, you know what? Just because we're running low on time, I think we're going to end up doing that next week with 2 ponies instead. And I'm gonna have a better system set up. So I'll do 2 ponies. I'll give away one to one person, one to the other. So
everyone's like, screw this show.
So hold your horses. The viewer count just drops. Like,
and horses, hold your breath.
No, I said hold your horses. No, shut the hell up. Silence.
You know the best part about
Pharaoh speaks.
It's from Chicken Little, and I don't get why people. I love that movie. A lot of people hate that movie. But it's so filled with puns that I can't not love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like Chicken Run. I'm like, how can you hate Chicken? Oh, Chicken. Never mind.
I like that the ugly duckling ends up being like the hot duck.
Oh yeah, abso-friggin. All right, so Drummer Shy says, will we ever see more of Marble Pie in the future? Maybe. We've seen other
Hopefully.
background characters show up, so maybe.
Hopefully, I'll throw in a let's hope.
We got one from Stubby saying, "What is one thing that you hope happens in the season finale?" So, what do you think, Race and Sarah?
What's the one thing that I hope happens in the season finale?
I want to see another villain. Like, it'd be cool to see like Sombra and Chrysalis like team up or something.
It'd be cool to see a recurring villain, like you said, a Chrysalis or a Sombra, someone we haven't seen in a while, or a new villain. I'd love
Tarek is
to-
still out there, right?
Who?
Is Tarek still alive or is he dead?
He's back in jail, so he.
That's
can always
right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got out once. What's stopping him from getting out again? Where?
If there's like this battle with this villain, I kind of want to see Discord getting in on some action.
Yeah, he kind of sidelines himself when it comes to actual like fisticuffs. He's just like,
Fisticuffs. Bring
Yeah.
it on, bitch. All right. Neon Palette says, "Who is best pie sister?" Oh, this goes to that question. It's Marvel.
I'm gonna go with Maud.
Maud.
Just
Okay,
because like
okay.
Marble's cute.
If you
But
thought that
Maud
corpse
makes me
was
laugh.
high on the Mo scale, wait until I tell you about Corundum.
Sarah's actually has a cosplay for Maud.
I'm working on it.
I got her a wig for it for what was it, Christmas? Birthday? Something?
Chris Birth.
Christmas. It was Christmas.
Bobby1 asked if we're ordering the MLP Christmas album. And I scrolled down on this picture and all I see is Jingle Bells Rainbow Dash.
A
it's
very creative song, Daniel Ingram.
Well, here's what's funny is that underneath it says Deck the Halls, Kazumi Evans and someone else. And I'm like, wait, why is it Kazumi Evans in one and then Rainbow Dash listed in the other and Twilight Sparkle? Is Kazumi Evans a pony now? Like, what happened? I'm pretty sure it says Kazumi Evans and Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and Kazumi Evans.
Like, what the heck happened there? I currently don't have plans on ordering it. I do have the Kreber Christmas CD, so I'll probably be listening to that.
Got one from Ozyol saying, "I heard a while that Saber said something about Trekkies fandom. Was there something you want to say?" No, I was just saying Trekkies are an old fandom that people tend to think of as, like, fandom. What word comes to mind? Star
I think that
Wars.
guy's ready to throw down.
Ozzy's like, you got something to say, buddy? You got
right.
Speak into the microphone as he holds his fist into the air. All right, Alex says, okay, so I asked a question, and I'm starting to get these answers here. I said, what are the top 5 fandoms you all dislike the most? And Alec here says Adventure Time fandom, Steven Universe fandom a bit, Twilight, Weeaboos. Yeah, Weeaboos can be pretty gnarly. And he says some of the Brony fandom, which I do agree with. Every fandom has their dark side. Especially...
The difference with Bronies is that we are in the fandom, so we tend to know both sides of it, which is why it's just which one do you focus on? Which one do you put your energy into? Do you put your energy into hating the side that sucks or enjoying the side that's good?
Agreed. It's,
yeah.
what? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Did you had more to add? I was going to read off.
Nope.
question.
All yours.
Caleb asks, you've probably been asked, but have you heard of iRacing? If so, have you tried it or will you? This question was towards me. I have raced iRacing. I love iRacing. It's a racing simulator, for those that don't know, and it's beautifully put together. Great effects. Great. I mean, race car drivers use it nowadays to actually prepare for actual races. So it's definitely proven itself. The only reason I don't have it myself is that it's just the monthly payment and time. I really right now don't even have time to put down to. I mean, I'm sure if I got it, eventually I'll probably get it. I have the steering wheel for it. I have the pedals I can use. So yeah. And now I'm scrolling past some of the questions you've already asked.
Daniel says, if you had a last meal like prisoners on death row, what would you want for your last meal? Huh, a good question.
Wow. Wait.
I have a funny story for this, actually. There was
a Pepe's wet burrito, carne asada, no rice, no lettuce or tomato on the side.
Really? That would be it?
Some orange bang. Oh, that's it. It's a you had the burrito.
It was
You
good.
can-
I'm just saying, like you thought this out.
No, it's just it's my favorite thing.
Funny
to
story.
eat.
They give you options now. You don't get to choose because this one guy ruined it for everybody else. Where in Texas, this guy, they said, "What's your final meal going to be?" And he ordered like insane amount of things. Like, I want turkey. I want filet mignon. I want this. I want that. I want it cooked precisely this way. I want 3 scoops of this kind of ice cream. And when they brought the entire dish to him, he goes, "I'm not hungry," and then he got killed.
I like
What a big old middle finger to the. I mean, I'm sure the cops are like, you know what? We'll eat it then, thanks. But
that's great. What would your final meal be though, Sarah? What would your be?
so it's like all the bread I could eat.
Sarah, I was gonna say if you knew that you were gonna get killed. God, this is dark. In the next, let's say 10. No, let's say hour. Next hour.
The next 10 hour.
Jeez. I'd probably eat some type of cake or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you just gluten it up?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't matter
Not
at that point.
nachos? Weren't you the nacho girl? Or was that your mom?
Yeah. I don't know. It changes.
No, your mom's a spring roll person. I had this really
Okay.
interesting conversation with her mom and Sarah, where I forget if I asked it, but I'm sure I did. Is that I was like, if you could eat one thing, or I think we were talking about medicine for celiac disease.
Like, if they found something that celiac
What would be the
could take.
first thing you could eat? And hearing them talk about the first things they would eat made me feel so sad. I was like, I feel terrible.
I feel bad. You have no taste. Why would you eat that? No. Well, I'd eat a good piece of filet mignon cooked perfectly. I would like to eat a bunch of hibachi, Japanese food, and sushi. I would like a big old. I'm gonna get drunk along with it, so lots of beer. I would like to eat a bunch of dumplings from like a Chinese place. I would like to eat a big old plate of like bacon cheese French fries with hot sauce. I would like to eat.
Are you gonna be able to eat this all in one sitting? Because I think
Yeah, I'll eat myself to death. Thank you very
you're like,
much.
you're on death row. You're like, can I get this to go?
Can I get a doggy bag for this? They actually give me a
Nice,
doggy bag.
nice. This is all making me really hungry. Sarah, have you eaten?
That'd be fun to do. Is to do a
Yeah,
final
you can.
meal, but not have to die afterwards.
Oh my gosh, yes, we should do that once a week. Sarah, new plans. We're gonna have a final meal every week. It might be a bad like omen though. It might set things into badness. Let's see here. I got one from Alec asking favorite Winnie the Pooh character. Tigger
Rabbit.
comes to mind. I think I'm gonna go with Tigger, even though he's probably also the most annoying character.
Rabbit.
Same.
I love rabbit.
I like Gopher.
Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Where's that? Sure.
Shit.
Shit. Would I? All right, let's keep moving on to questions because I guess we'll go until we get 12 minutes left here.
Yeah.
We guess a 2-hour-long episode. Shiver says, Saberspark, how do you grow and take care of your fabulous facial hair? Sir, it took years of growing and trimming and crafting, and I tell you, it just comes down to genetics. Honest to God.
He's talking about your facial hair, not your pubic hair.
Oh, well, I take my pubic hair, I cut it off, I tape it to my... No, man, our show got just dark this episode. It's like, whatever.
Dirty.
We're gonna have a nice PG on it, and fuck it all.
It's mostly family friendly.
Mostly. So, Daniel says, what is the funniest or craziest experience you've had on Halloween? Daniel, I'm going to give my quick answer here. I tied a plastic turtle to a fishing rod, and I would reel it in across the street as cars drove up with my friend Robert, and we'd make the cars freak out and slow down. That was fun.
Oh God, Sarah, do you have one?
Yeah. I scared the pants off some kids without even trying. I was one year. I was maybe like 16 or 17, and I was going with my friend Brittany, She has a younger brother, so we were taking him around the neighborhood. And then afterwards, we just decided, just walk around. And I had borrowed this costume from her, which is just this big red cloak hoodie thing that has a black like mesh over the face. So it's just like death but red. And I was just walking down the street with Brittany, and like these kids like across the street just like they started screaming, and they were like pointing at me, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I don't know, it was just fun.
It's really excellent. I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
So I had to improvise when I realized I didn't have a Halloween costume, and I was like, oh crap, that sucks. And worse off, I also found out like the day before that I had class on Halloween night. Like I think we all just figured he'd cancel it, and the professor was like, no, we have a test, and we're like, screw you, asshole. So what I did was I went through our Halloween supplies, and I found a scary mask, and I'm like, okay, cool, but it needs more. And then I found like this rainbow string hair. It's like confetti, but like the shiny hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, I need something else. And then I found a farmer's straw hat. So I put it all on, and then after I got out of class, it was probably around 8:30 or 9, and all I did was I drove really slowly with all this on around the neighborhood. And, kids would be walking by, and you'd see them just, like, kind of glance over and be like, oh, did you see that? So for me, that was fun. Another time was the last time I think I ever went trick-or-treating was with Tommy. And Tommy from the Low Budgets. And he was dressed up as a grandmother.
Wonderful.
And I was dressed up as like an army guy or something. And we were walking around, and this guy was just like in like, oh, this is for kids mode. And we were probably 15. And he's like, aren't you guys a little old? And I just, without missing a beat, jumped. And I was like, Grandma is never too old for trick-or-treating. And Tommy just with his cane just like it was just fun.
There. The cough there is really
No, that's what he did, yeah. So that's for me. Seth mentioned face cams. As far as face cams go, I don't know if right now if it would work. As
Maybe in
far
the
as
future.
on my end. Maybe in the future, yeah. We'll see what we could go on. Kabari asks, which pony is more adorable, Flutters, Coco, or Marble?
Oh, that's tough. Coco is a close one. Flutters is adorable, though. Flutters.
I'm going to say Marble.
I'm gonna say Coco. We're all
There you go.
split.
There you go.
Oh, well.
Marble for me, just
That's
because
how
I
the
think
kingdom falls.
we have so little of her that there's a lot that we can, I guess, I don't know. If Fluttershy has lost her adorable factor with me after she went Hulk. I can never get that image out of my head. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Riley says his favorite sparking race best favorite color. My favorite color, honestly, is pink. I love pink.
Nice.
what about you all?
Favorite color?
is blue.
My favorite color is fluorescent yellow on black.
Okay.
You just shut your dumb mouth. Nathan says, if you want to know about the Nathan, I'll tell you on Skype after the show. You better tell me, Nathan.
No, it's.
All right, we got one from Seth saying, "Will you?" What?
I'm sorry. I just saw your message to M.A. Larson on Twitter. We can talk about your book and how you ruined MLP. That's good.
We'll get him.
That's good.
Seth says, "Will you invite Black Griffin onto the next episode of Semi Perfect Podcast?" We'll wait and see what the future holds. Nathan,
yes.
Get another one from Nathan saying, "I'm looking to find a new show to get into. Any recommendations?" I'm gonna say, of course, Game of Thrones. It's a great show. It's got a lot of episodes to watch. What about you all? What would you recommend, Nathan?
I guess the hard part is I don't know what shows he already watches.
Yeah. I'll just list off a few that I watch that I would recommend is Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Wander Over Yonder is a big one. Wander Over Yonder, please watch it. We Bare Bears is really cute. I've started watching that one. And let's see. I like regular show too. So that's
All right. I'd say Campy World Truck Series practice, Sprint Cup Series practice, Campy World Truck Series qualifying, Xfinity qualifying, and Sprint Cup Series qualifying.
Good
Are all
shows.
Really good shows. Shifro asks, can you, Sarah or Saber, just give me a friggin' hug? Man, if you promise to not kiss my neck, you can have a hug.
Oh, here comes a virtual hug right now. Virtual hug. Kimmy says, notice me, Dad. Hello, son. Daniel says, Montreal confirmed. I still have no idea what this Montreal is, but we shall see. Also, no choice chamber. Okay. Guess.
Mod Trio? Okay.
All right, I got a couple here I want to address specifically. Shut up. It's Harbor Day. Wow, damn.
I'm laughing at Paleo's tweet.
He's the one saying, will you draw cookie soup like one of your French girls?
Yes, and the answer is yes.
I will. Tell him to put some pants on. He's sitting on your damn couch with no pants. What's
That's nice.
defile it.
Did you say you had some stuff?
Flight 4 says, was your OC based off of Hercules and the Pegasus from Hercules? No, that was a coincidence.
It was a complete coincidence. It's really funny that it turned out that way because, again, Saber Spark and I both came up with our OCs well before we knew each other.
Yes.
Probably
A few months.
So and Sarah designed mine, and Saber's designed his on a pony generator. So, yeah, it's. Did you actually? Where did your OC first? Where was it first designed?
A pony generator, yeah.
Oh, it was a pony generator. Oh, okay. See, I was joking because I thought you were above that.
Ooh, Nelson's. No, I am absolute pony generator trash.
I'm joking. I know there's a lot of us here. That,
We're all trash. Nelson Dimmy first says, is there a fandom you think you could never see yourself be a part of? That's a good question.
there's a couple, and it's just because mostly of the content involved. You know, like if we consider Justin Bieber to be a fandom,
yeah.
you know, I don't like his music, so I'm not gonna be immersed in whatever the heck that group needs to talk about. The Twilight fandom. I don't know. I don't know.
Like
What
as
about
far as big fandom goes, like the big ones, I
Sports
don't really
for me.
see myself being a part of the Doctor Who fandom.
Yeah, good one.
I feel like there's just too much to catch up on, man. Like my sister's totally into it. She's a total Whovian. She's
Weird.
she's really big on Doctor Who, but I don't think I'll ever get into that. I've seen like an episode and it was good, but
Did you know?
I just
Funny.
wanted to put all that time to it.
There's an interesting story about Sarah's sister. That Sarah's sister would not marry somebody without a PhD.
Are you
Because
serious?
because she absolutely said that one of the defining factors of their relationship is her being able to call him the doctor
No.
in bed.
No.
How awful. This fandom's toxic. All right, I think we got. I think that's it. Actually, I got one last statement from Wolf. Wolf with a rose saying, "Thanks, guys. You're a lifesaver. Podcast keep me sane at work. Thanks to you, Race and Sarah." So,
Aw.
that's
I
it for
have
questions.
one-
I think.
I have two more here, just
ahead.
two more. Shifro was asking. He says, going back to last week's question, would you like a? Wait, what is this? Wait, whoa, man. Would you like a unicorn wing as a horn or horns as wings?
Oh, horns as wings. That looks intimidating as fuck.
You look like a moth.
Wait, just like one wing as a horn?
Yeah.
Oh.
Those
I
are
guess you wouldn't look like a moth.
those are
I
the
would
kind
have
of moth you're
horns
looking
as
at.
wings because that would be like metal, like just have like these spikes coming out of your shoulders.
Yeah, that looks scary. I'd be like a damn
That'd
scary
be
looking
painful.
warhorse. Be cool.
No, I definitely go with the.
Painful because it'd be part of your skeleton. And so,
Yeah, but like it'd be awkward to lay down.
no. And,
That's what your bellies are for.
Not- well, if
If
you're
you
like
have
a
horns
horse type
coming out of your
thing,
back.
well, is this Pegasus type of thing or what?
Oh,
Like
if you're a
you-
horse.
you don't even fucking lay down. So.
Well, damn. Okay.
I
And the last question I have here is from Ozzy All asking if we're planning to visit Canada.
Not anytime soon.
like Saber said, I used to have family up in Canada. We used to go there once every 3 or 4 years. Beautiful country. I was obviously on the West Coast side, but just loved it whenever we did go up. Very nice people. Very easy to take advantage of. So it's Canada. I do enjoy whenever I'm able to make it up there. No plans right now. Wanted to mention before we do get into the final announcement of the night that Saber Spark and I have officially been announced for Ponyville Ciderfest.
Yes, we have.
That announcement, funny enough, I think came 2 hours after our podcast ended last week. So, or just right after it. So yeah, we weren't able to say it there, but yeah, Ponyville Ciderfest. It's in Milwaukee,
Wisconsin.
and November 20th through the 22nd, and it's supposed to be really warm, as far as I am told. It's going to be nice, hot, pleasurable weather.
Good bathing suit weather.
Oh yeah, no, we're going swimming, right?
Oh, well, yeah, duh.
Like I hear they have some things that we can swim. You know what I want to swim in Milwaukee?
What?
Like a big pool of cheese. dip.
That's probably a thing in Milwaukee somewhere.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be a fandom or a
And
fetish.
you use sausage to like float in the cheese dip,
Oh,
like a lifeguard tube. But
can you imagine?
you want to go into your announcement?
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people, and it's kind of funny actually, because I know that you guys have been waiting very patiently. It's been some time since we had a Bronies React, and yes, I see somebody mentioned it in the chat. There will be convention vlogs coming, so be ready to tune in for those. I've been posting a lot of low budgets lately. And as I've mentioned multiple times, the reason that I've been putting out so many low budgets is because I'm trying to catch up, so next season, hopefully there is one, I don't have to be in this catch-up mode where I'm like posting them 8 months later. I'm right now within 6 months, and by the end of, I think, the next 2 weeks, I'll be within maybe 5 or 4 months. So definitely making some really good headway. Eventually going to get to the event that Saber Spark was a part of as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun. So the low budgets obviously been tying in the show. It's been and the announcement is not about the low budgets. It is about Bronies React, just so everyone knows. But I saw somebody post a comment, and I've seen similar things in the past, but they make me laugh. Is somebody commented saying, and Saber, you were actually part of this comment, but they essentially commented saying, "I'm unsubbing because of too many cars."
Yeah.
And I'm subscribing to Saber Spark and the rest of the gang. Like, what I got from it was, I'm leaving you and I'm going to the rest of the Bronies React
Going
group.
to greener pastures.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, this car stuff is just driving me nuts. And I understand. I'm not surprised that there's people out there that are like, I can't stand this stuff anymore. It's like, okay, cool. But then you also didn't come here for me. You came here for a specific thing that I make, which still, thank you for coming. But I laugh because, and here comes the announcement, everybody. I laugh that he left yesterday when I am currently not working on one, but 2 Bronies Reacts. And there's no doubt in my mind that he subscribed to my channel because of probably the Bronies Reacts. I'm working on 2 of them right now. Now, I hinted at the second one last week. I kind of suggested it. But this is me guaranteeing you guys right now that we are, in fact, in the works right now for 2 Bronies Reacts. And the first one to come out is not going to be Equestria Girls. Equestria Girls is going to be coming out after this other Bronies React comes out. Now, what is this other Bronies React going to be? Folks, there's been a lot of people making requests, and I very often avoid doing just standalone Bronies Reacts to just episodes. Now, we did one earlier this year, which was to episode 100. That was a very big deal. So obviously we put that one together. But a lot of people, and I'm seeing some people in the chat starting to guess.
Yeah.
Folks, we are in fact putting together a Bronies React to the Cutie Mark Crusaders episode. The first one that ever aired. Not the one where they get the cutie marks. No. So yeah, so there you guys go. You're the first ones to know. You're right now the only ones to know. But it is true. We are doing a Bronies React to Crusaders of the Lost Mark. It's in the works. Now this is going to be a different one because it's going to involve. Let me count on my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 7 people. But it's going to be a smaller type of React, but it's still going to be in its full essence of Bronies React. So it's just, yeah. So that's going to be happening. You, like I said, you guys are the only ones to know right now. So
Everyone in the chat's singing hoopla.
well, I see a lot of people, a couple people mentioning the low budgets and whatnot. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in and enjoying that series as well. Still a lot of pony themed cars that Sarah painted up. One RV that I painted up. Oh man, it looks like crap. You're gonna love it. But yeah, so that's right now what's going on. The low budgets, the way that they're set up is they actually go up far after I've already edited them. Like I've already edited a lot of these things, and so it's not like they're taking away time when I'm uploading those. That's just because they've been scheduled for the past 3 weeks. So just so everybody knows, the low budgets, even though you'll still be seeing episodes going live in the next week or two, they are not impeding on my editing of the Bronies React to Cutie Mark Crusaders. And as far as one other hint or spoiler I'll give, Saber Spark, you're not in it.
Oh, finally. Thank God I can get a break.
Just kidding.
Oh.
He's in it, guys. So yeah, give me your footage by like tonight, maybe.
Oh, damn. Yes, I've got to do that still. No.
So yeah, no. It should be a lot of fun. Very looking forward to it, and a couple surprises are going to be in this Bronies React as well. So keep your eyes open. You won't want to miss this one. And like I said, then Equestria Girls will be following in next. So, yep, that's a big announcement. Hope it was worth it for you guys. I know a lot of people have been asking if we're going to be doing it, and this is probably the one place I'm going to answer it until I maybe start tweeting a little bit about it in coming days. So, should be a lot of fun. Thank you all again for watching and whatnot. I know for Saber and I, you're the fuel to our fire.
Yes.
So, always appreciate you guys tuning into our works. It sounds like, Saber, you got some pretty cool videos in the works as well.
Yeah, I got some stuff coming down the pipeline, so you all stay tuned. Hopefully you all will enjoy it. And thank you all for coming out for this episode. We'll be back next week with episode 7 with another episode to review. And then I think we'll probably do this discussion thing. This is kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
So we will be back next week. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.